What's up everybody on YouTube? AJ Russ back to discuss another video, and as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about why the Phoenix Suns are easily, in my opinion, the most disappointing team in the NBA this season. We can talk about all the factors like the Western Conference being so stacked, and it definitely is. I mean, you have 10 teams over 500, which is insane, but that's not an excuse for the Suns. You look at D-Book, Bradley Beal, and KD, that team is a super team, especially in the modern NBA, but besides that, how the Suns built their team, I mean, man, it is kind of tough. Now, I will say people like Grayson Allen, who was having a 50-40-90 type of season this year, has been phenomenal, and if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, you better hope that you can keep him because, man, he has been essential and key to your squad. When healthy, people like Eric Gordon have been able to step in and contribute valuable minutes and scoring, and also Royce O'Neal making that trade. He's been a really great 3-and-D guy for the Suns, but all that is still not enough. They're awful in closing out games in the fourth quarter, one of the worst in the league. They've been like that the entire season, and my biggest thing with the Suns too, from the jump, you knew that you were going to need a floor general at the point guard position, and they just stayed stagnant. Book, don't get me wrong, he's been an amazing playmaker this season, averaging 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. I mean, he's been a great playmaker, but at the end of the day, he gets buckets. He scored 50 points on the Pelicans, I believe 2 or 3 times this season. Has scored 60 as well. He's scored 70 in his career. I mean, we know the type of capable scorer and lethal scorer that he is. So really, I just feel like it's been the Phoenix Suns management being too aggressive, obviously with new ownership wanting to go all in and win, which I can respect, but nowadays having a super team isn't necessarily the best idea. But yeah guys, before I get further into the video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and turn on post notifications. You know what we post about here is sports, lifestyle, and pop culture. I'm gonna thank y'all later for how the channel has been doing lately, but man, last week and the last couple of weeks has been huge for the channel. I really appreciate the support, and there's a lot of content coming, guys. NBA playoffs are about to start. We have a lot of videos about to come in. If I take any break like for a week, it's only because of school right now, guys, but I'm about to graduate soon, so that's a blessing. But anyways, with that being said, guys, let's talk about these Phoenix Suns. So like I was talking about a second ago, the super team structure, especially in 2024, it's dead in my eyes. With the salary cap, you can obviously only do so much. You have D-Book on a max deal, you have KD on a max deal, and now Bradley Beal making that trade last offseason. You've crippled yourself and you're handicapped now in terms of financially being able to go on the market and get key players and key role players to add depth to the Suns team. And a smart way the past 4 to 5 years we've seen with a lot of contenders and a lot of teams who have won in the finals, like the Nuggets last year, like the Lakers in 2020, these duos, having duos. And right now, in my opinion, obviously you have to rank Jokic and Murray as the best duo right now in the league. Right under them, in my opinion, especially with how Dallas has played, it's then Luka and Kyrie. But I think that's the best model, and no disrespect to Bradley Beal at all, because he's a really freaking good player and an all-star caliber player in my eyes, but not a superstar. But I just don't feel like why Phoenix felt like they needed to make that move, and it's not a knock on him, it's just because there's only one ball to go around. So I never necessarily saw this being a great idea. Of course, having multiple superstars on your team seems good in theory, but it always makes a difference. And I know a lot of people are probably going to give flack to Frank Vogel. For me, he's not a problem, and I really think that in LA he got more blame than he deserved. He's a really good coach, I mean, and he won a championship there for a reason. But Frank Vogel, he's a defensive minded head coach, and I can't say that the Suns have been a great representation of defense. They've been inconsistent offensively and defensively throughout the year, but that's what happens when you have 3 superstars basically garnering most of the cap and most of the brunt of the team, so you can only sign players to veteran minimums. If you look at Bradley Beal right now, he has 4 years left on his contract, and he just turned 30 last June. D-Book has a player option for the 2024-25 season, but in my eyes, D-Book is the definition of the Phoenix Suns. He's been there his whole career since 2015. There's no question about him remaining on the team in my opinion, but they have this little 2-year window. And of course, Kevin Durant, he has a few more years left on his contract. I believe it ends at the end of 2026 because he signed that contract extension with the Nets, and he's been playing at a great level, also being really healthy, as he's averaged 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, and shooting 52% from the field at the age of 35 years old. Still extremely efficient, easily one of the greatest scorers of all time that we've seen touch the basketball. But right now, that's not enough in the NBA and in the Western Conference alone. I mean, I literally just talked about the Western Conference alone having 11 teams over 500, and right now the Suns, at the recording of this video, are the 7th seed, and they most likely won't move past that. Gonna be likely in the play-in scenario, and I do believe that they'll make it out of the play-in and probably remain in the 7th seed, and that would have them, at the recording of this video, facing the Minnesota Timberwolves. And how the Timberwolves play, man, first of all, they are a perfect matchup and adversary to the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Tim Connolly built that Nugget squad, and then he went to Minnesota and helped build that team with Gobert and Cat, and they have a great defensive identity, so I think that it would take care of the Suns. It will be a tough series. I would probably say we go to 6 games, but I don't think the Suns will get out of that. And no disrespect to the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't even think this is possible anymore. more with the season ending in a few days. But if the Thunder were to play against the Suns, I think it would be interesting, but I just still don't see the Suns getting out of the first round. You have to be consistent to win in the playoffs in this league and have depth. That's the thing that makes a huge difference. Role players stepping up in key moments in the postseason. But right now, in my eyes, the Suns don't have that. Grayson Allen, he's been great this year, don't get me wrong, and we know how capable KD and Book are in the playoffs. Bradley Beal, not so much, because he was a part of an incompetent Wizards team who hadn't really played significant basketball in the playoffs since like 2017 or 2018. I mean, my goodness, I'm talking about 6-7 years ago. But I just can't see the Suns for sure not beating the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, even the Clippers. Definitely not the Mavericks with how hot they are. A bold take for me is that they potentially can make the conference finals, but we'll see what transpires in the playoffs. But yeah, right now the Suns, they are where they are for a reason, and it is disappointing. Prior to the season, of course, people had the Suns potentially being a top 3 seed projected because of the talent that they had with that three-headed snake. But as we all know, games aren't played on paper, they're played on the court, and health has been a big component of that. Inconsistent has been another component and result of their record and where their placing is right now. And do I see them being better potentially in 24-25? Yes, but how much better? Because these teams are going nowhere. Wouldn't be surprised if the West is this cutthroat next year. It's insane how many great teams there are, how much talent there is, not only in the West but in the East and in the league in its totality. I mean, when the Rockets were winning 11 games in a row, there were 11 teams in the West over 500. Of course, they've fallen off some, but these teams are just going to continue to get better and better. And for the Suns, I don't really think they have a shot to win this year, but next year it's all or nothing, and they're not the only team that's like that. I made a video about the Milwaukee Bucks. There's pressure on them to win next year as well, because it doesn't look like they're going to do a lot in the postseason, how they've been playing, how inconsistent they've been since Doc Rivers hire. And then also with Giannis having that little calf injury, which is suspect for sure going into the postseason. And the Clippers as well, they're another team like that needs to win in this 2-year window. Even the Celtics, we know how great they've been this season, dominating the league, having a 62-18 record at the recording of this video. But for them, it comes down to the playoffs, and the Suns, it's the same thing with them. They have to win in these next couple of years, or we're going to be looking at KD's legacy different. I don't know about Book. I mean, he didn't have a great 2021 NBA Finals at all, but he was still young, so we cut him some slack. But there's going to be questions about him as well. And Bradley Beal, I mean, he's been a perennial all-star in my opinion. I never thought of him as a superstar, but there's just going to be questions about this whole team regardless, and really about Kevin Durant. I think that'll be the one whose legacy is impacted the most, because if you look at KD, he was unable to win with Kyrie and James Harden. Of course, injuries got in the way of that, but also a ton of drama. He did win 2 wins with the Warriors, but a lot of people look at that as being fake because of that super team, which I don't blame him. I hated knowing that the Warriors were going to win and that the league was pretty much doomed for those couple of seasons. For me, KD does have to win. There is pressure for the Suns, and they've been disappointing this year. There's a lot they can learn from. I don't know really what moves they can make in the offseason because their salary cap is so stuck and strung. But I do know one thing, they have been disappointing, and it's unfortunate, but I just think they failed them by not having a point guard around them. Yes, I know they signed Isaiah Thomas, and no disrespect to him because he was great for those couple of seasons, but height matters in the league. So yeah, but they just have a flawed roster, and there's not a lot of movement they can make. So yeah, guys, y'all let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Suns this season, if you think they've been the most disappointing team, if it's another team, just really what you think about the West and the playoffs right now, and really how the Suns stack up, because they should be better. But if you look at their team, I mean, it's not that surprising, because right now the super team structure is dead. I've never been a fan of it in my eyes anyways. Duos have been better. That's a better model right now, because you can have a plethora of role players and beneficial pieces to help compete for a championship. You see that with the Nuggets, you see that with the Celtics and a lot of contenders like that. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. Always make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRuss, and also on TikTok at SwaggyRuss02 for cooking videos, shorts, content, and things of that nature. I told y'all earlier I was going to give y'all some gratitude for all the love that you've shown on my channel in these past couple of weeks. I think literally I gained over 40 plus subscribers last week. I mean, it's all because of y'all. First of all, it's all because of God. All glory to him, all glory to Jesus. But I really thank y'all for tuning in as well. It really makes a huge difference. Right now, getting ready to graduate college, on this journey to become a sports analyst, it really makes a difference, guys, and we have a lot more coming. And as school ends, as I look for my first official job in sports media, I'm gonna have more content. The videos are gonna improve, all types of quality and things like that. So I just really appreciate it, y'all. Hope you are doing well and being blessed. Hope 2024 has been blessed for y'all. It's going by fast, but you have a lot to accomplish this year. You matter, God loves you, and y'all have a good one.